Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how Ram is taking over the truck world and how they might just be able to dethrone Ford as the #1 truck maker. Before getting into the video though, as always, if you're going to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. First off, we have to talk about sales numbers, and then we're going to dive a little bit deeper into this topic and explain why Ram will potentially pass up Ford as the #1 truck maker here in the US. So, first off, prior to the release of the new body style Ram 1500, 2500, and 3500 for the 2019 model year, the 5th generation Ram trucks, Ram was selling right around 500,000 units per year, which is a huge amount of trucks. Just to give you guys an idea, Toyota is considered a big truck maker here in the US. Obviously, they're a Japanese company, but you guys get what I'm saying. And they sell about 100,000 trucks per year. So Ram is absolutely killing it already at 500,000 units per year. But when you compare that to Ford, which is closer to 1 million units per year, it doesn't seem like it's as crazy. Now, after the release of the 5th generation Ram 1500, Ram jumped up to over 700,000 units per year. And in the same time period, Ford was under 900,000 units per year. And so the gap was closing by a massive margin. And then obviously COVID came around and everyone got hit. And so the sales numbers for both manufacturers dropped by a pretty substantial margin. Ford dropped down into the 700,000, 600,000 unit per year range, and Ram dropped into the 500,000 unit per year range. But Ram's rebound has been quite a bit more substantial than Ford's rebound. Ford is still down, especially in commercial sales, and I do want to talk about that a little bit later in this video, whereas Ram is pretty much up, and they're also gaining market share. So Ford still right around 700,000 units. Ram is closing in on 600,000 units per year. So Ford is still more than Ram at this point, but the gap is closing, and Ram overall is gaining market share. And then with General Motors, everyone separates the Silverado from the GMC Sierra, even though they're basically the same truck. And so the Silverado is right around 500,000 units per year, whereas the Sierra is right around 250,000 units per year. And so if you actually combine those numbers together, then GM's trucks outsell Ford and Ram, actually. But Ford still claims they're the #1 truck maker because it's under one brand, whatever. We'll push that aside. But the point that I'm trying to make with these sales numbers is Ram is increasing in sales numbers and market share. Ford is decreasing in sales numbers and market share. So that's very important. Now we need to look at the trucks themselves to also kind of explain things. So if we look at each of the trucks, frankly, they're all pretty solid from a product standpoint. They all have a number of powertrains that they offer. Interiors and exteriors are all really nice. There's pros and cons to all of them. Pros with the Ram, right? Really good looking exterior. They've got really cool exterior packages with the truck. They've got pretty much a truck for everyone and a very nice high quality interior. Now with Ford, same thing pretty much, but Ford is missing a couple things that Ram currently has, but then Ram's also missing some things that Ford has. So Ford has some self-driving with the trucks, and they have an electric truck that you can currently purchase, whereas Ram has stuff like the camera mirror, which is frankly really important in my personal opinion. And then you move over to GM, and GM actually pretty much has everything because they have the camera mirror. They also have self-driving. So the point that I'm trying to make is GM has a lot of the tech and a lot of the luxury stuff that Ram and Ford have, but GM still slightly underperforms from an interior perspective compared to Ford and Ram. Basically what I'd rank it from an interior perspective is Ram has the nicest interior still, Ford's #2, and then GM is #3. And don't get me wrong, I love the interior of the Ford Platinum Series and the Limited Series, but Ram's sales numbers with the Ram 1500 Limited support the fact that Ram's truck is just more popular from a luxury truck perspective. Ford barely sells any F-150 Limiteds. The Platinum's a pretty good seller, but the Ram 1500 Limited outsells both of those packages by a very, very large margin. So what I'm trying to make from a point perspective with this is that Ram, Ford, and Chevy and GMC, frankly, all have pretty good products. And so even though Ram has some stuff to differentiate it, it's not enough to make it the #1 truck maker. There's a few other things that are propelling Ram into that segment. First off is affordability. And this is something that Ford used to have, but they are slowly losing, especially when it comes to commercial use. And Ford's commercial sales are down by a massive amount. I was reading I can't remember which news article it is. I probably should have remembered because now it's going to make me look stupid. But anyways, something along the lines of like Ford has lost a quarter of its commercial sales over the last few years, which is a massive amount because commercial sales make up a large amount of Ford's overall sales. And, part of that is production issues, but part of that, again, is also affordability. So a lot of people think that fleet sales are the most important for an automaker in terms of commercial sales, but that's not reality because a lot of commercial sales for automakers are small businesses, frankly, like myself, right? Businesses that might buy 1, 2, maybe 3 trucks. So they're not going to have a fleet number. They're not going to go for a fleet deal with the manufacturer if they're only buying a few trucks per year. The companies that go for fleet deals are companies that are buying like hundreds, thousands of vehicles per year. And so, yeah, obviously those help out with the volume numbers quite a bit, but small businesses make up a very large portion. And here's the thing is over the last few years, small businesses have not been able to get good deals on Ford trucks whatsoever. They've been able to get good deals though on Ram trucks. Yes, it is with Ram's old body style truck, but a truck sale is a truck sale, frankly. And so that's one of the things is affordability and also availability. This is another big thing. So with Ram trucks, you can go into a dealership and you can get a truck today. With Ford trucks and with GM trucks, not so much. So like, just to give you guys an example, if I walk into a GM dealer, whether it's a Chevy dealer or a GMC dealer, and I say, hey, I would like to get this truck. The GMC dealer or the Chevy dealer is probably going to say, oh, well, we probably don't have that in inventory right now, but let's get you an order. And then I would tell them what I want to order, and then they'd say, great. Once we have an allocation for this vehicle, we will let you know. So what that means is you're not really putting in an order. You're basically in line for the next time they get an allocation for that particular package. So when GM decides they want to make your truck. So it's a waiting game, and it's a pretty long waiting game. Some people are waiting literally over a year for some of these trucks to get delivered to them. Ford is in the same exact boat because they use this old school allocation method where they decide they're going to build certain packages, they're going to build a certain amount of these packages, and so you just have to wait until your package is built. Ram, on the other hand, just like the other manufacturers that are under the Stellantis umbrella, go by what the customer wants. So how it works with a Ram store is you walk in and you say, I would like to order a 2023 Ram 1500 Laramie Night Edition with the 5.7 Hemi, e-torque, panoramic sunroof, camera mirror, everything. And they go, perfect, your order is submitted to the factory and we will let you know when you can take delivery of this truck. And so it's not... They do have allocations with Ram dealers, so I don't want to pretend like they don't have allocations, but it's just not in the same way that GM and Ford handle things. What Ram is doing is they're basically just going and seeing what people are actually ordering, and then they're building what people are actually ordering. And so that means that availability is so much better. And so what that looks like for a regular consumer is I can get exactly what I want. And what that looks like for a commercial consumer, whether it's a fleet deal or whether it's just a small business owner, is I can get exactly what I want. So I don't have to overpay for something I'm not going to use, right? I don't have to take whatever Ford or Chevy has on their lot because that's all they can get me right now. I can get the exact work truck that I need, right? And so it goes across from, again, commercial all the way to just normal buyers. I know that was a pretty long-winded explanation, but I'm hoping that GM and Ford change course before Ram basically takes over the world, because frankly, Ram's business model makes sense for the current truck market and the truck market into the foreseeable future. Prior to the pandemic, people were okay with buying the trucks that were on lots, and so they were okay with getting a truck that was close to what they wanted. But now people are okay with waiting a little bit of time to get exactly what they want. We're going back into a car buying world where ordering is the thing. But people don't want to have to wait forever. People are okay with waiting, 3 to 4 to maybe 6 months, and that's the typical wait times with a lot of these Ram trucks. Some of them have taken a little bit longer, but most people that buy these trucks that reach out to me say, I got my truck within 3 months. I got my truck within 5 months, whatever. So pretty quick turnover time. Whereas with Ford and GM, there are people that are still waiting years after they put in orders for vehicles. The wait times are just too long. And on top of that, when you have this uncertainty with dealer pricing, it makes things really difficult from a customer perspective, because when people order a Ford product and then it comes into a dealer and the dealer decides they want to mark up that product, that's just what happens. And that customer that just waited 2 years for a vehicle just completely got screwed out of the vehicle they wanted. So If Ford and GM want to keep up and increase their sales numbers like what Ram has done, they don't need to really do too much to their product because frankly, their product's great. What they need to do is let people order exactly what they want to order. Stop this stupid allocation business. Take a step back and do what Ram is doing. Let people go into the dealership, order the spec they want, and look at what customers are actually ordering and build what customers are actually ordering. If you don't do that, well, I guess that Ford will eventually be selling 500,000 trucks a year and Ram will be selling 1 million trucks a year. Let me know what you guys think on all of this. And with that being said, I'll see you.